It's amazing that in the 2.5 years since ChatGPT kind of really, I would say, entered the public consciousness, there's just been an incredible flurry of, I mean, just a tsunami of activity, between chips, data centers, like frameworks, foundation models, vertical AI companies, consumer hardware, consumer software, agentic software, modern enterprise software. Um, there's just so much going on, and you have a vantage point, I think, to a lot of those different aspects. If you had to zoom out, Satya, and kind of tell a lot of the aspiring founders in this room, what might be two areas that are overlooked today, that might be like, interesting kind of arcs that are interesting places to, essentially like maybe place your seed in over for like the next 5 years?
It's no longer just what's happening with knowledge workers or language models themselves, but it's also what's happening in the real world and the real world action models, and then these models for science, whether it's chemistry or biology. All three, there's some transfer between them, but they're also got sort of independence. I think that that's a fascinating thing to be, quote unquote, going after. The thing that perhaps I've been now going back a little bit, even thinking about it even as a hyperscaler, is what's the system architecture that truly will support this new. If I look back at it, right, Paul Maritz was one of the guys who used to work at Microsoft, and growing up in the system side, for me, it was always about, hey, can you anticipate what the workload is and then redesign the system underneath? I don't think we have done a first principles re-architecture of the system. I mean, we've fallen in love with these AI accelerators. We threw a lot of them into existing data centers and said, go forth and prosper. And we've done quite a bit of it. But I think time's come to say, hey, what is the next generation hyper-converged infrastructure? How should I think about compute storage and the AI accelerator together? What is these distributed synchronous training jobs with sort of now RL, auto grading? How should you think of that system? That, I think, is the overlooked part. Even on the data center, when people say data center is a computer, is the time come for V2 of it? That's one. And then the other one is this client. People talk about hybrid AI, but we've not cracked. Like the model architecture itself, we talked a little bit about it.